Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Whatever time zone you happen to be in, welcome to Leaders Worldwide Online Toastmasters Club. Our club mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leaders Worldwide is designed for politicians, business leaders, nonprofit leaders, entrepreneurs, as well as anyone who wants to make their message heartfelt and authentic. Core values, integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We are Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters, where leaders are made. And I'd like to introduce in just 1 second, as I get my camera going, our president and leader for today, Rosemary Sweeney. Are you there, Rosemary?
Yes, I am.
There you go.
Trying to get my camera opened. Sorry about that. Good evening and welcome everyone to our meeting this evening. It will be a meeting with a difference. We are all going to participate and enjoy. We have, I'm trying to get my agenda. Yes, in the chat. We have a full meeting, and our meeting, as we said from the last time, will be for 1 hour, but we are still going to get all the goodies we have been getting when our meeting is 2 hours. See, we have speeches, we have our 2 speakers, 2 evaluators, our table topic session. And do we have any guests? We have no guests at the moment, but they might be on their way, and we will welcome them at the end of the meeting. We do have a
couple of guests.
Oh, we have, yes.
We have Judith.
Judith looks so familiar. It's like she's my sister.
I just saw you in another meeting the other day, and I thought, oh my God.
Yes, we travel around the world together. But I noticed that there is Joy.
Yes.
Joy, we welcome you. Can you tell us who invited you?
Sharice Manor. And yeah, I'm a club president at Scott Air Force Base.
Yeah. And who are you? Who invited you?
Sharice Manor.
Choice Manor. Okay, we welcome you, and we hope to see you again and see you so often that you finally become a member of this amazing club. At the end of the meeting, I will call on you to find out what do you think of our meeting and what ideas would you give us for improvement. At this time, I hand over the meeting to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster D. Marie. Let us make her feel welcome.
Rhonda's visiting too. She's a guest, Rhonda.
Rhonda came in just as I was finishing up, so I'll call her at the end of the meeting. Let us make Dee Marie feel welcome. Dee Marie,
they did, and I do. So let me proceed. We're on an hour time slot here. So our meeting theme for today is labor of love. Wow. So when I looked it up, I wanted to know who came up with that theme. I just wanted to know whose idea was that. It's biblical. It is a biblical thing that God thanked everyone for their labor of love. And the way it's being applied today is, I want the members of Leaders Worldwide to understand that pathways can be your labor of love. Because if you are passionate about something and you love the work that you do, it's not considered work and you would do it for free. So having said that, let's get on with our meeting. And I'd like for, has Sally arrived as our grammarian? She obviously has not, so
I
the
don't
word,
think so. I called her, but I think she's not coming.
would someone like to fill that role, first of all?
Judith, would you like to fill it? Or, oh,
Joy has
Joy
raised her hand and she would like to
Woo!
fill that role.
Yes.
So are you a Toastmaster, Joy?
Yes, I am president of my club, just got newly elected, and I've got a shy side to me, so it's hard for me to get on the ball, but I have Sharice that's guiding me, so she's doing great with that.
Oh, excellent. So the word of the day is passion, Passion. And since we sort of pulled you into that role, if you know the definition or you want to give a definition, that's fine. But before I hand that over to you, I'd like for everyone to unmute their mic and say the word passion, so we can get started out on a
Passion.
Passion.
Thank you so much. Joy, you have the floor to explain your grammarian's role.
As a grammarian, I'm going to be paying attention to crutch words like so, and looking out for anything that stands out that's a little awkward in your speech. So that is what I will be doing at that time. And who's word master? Me as well? Okay. So I get to be word master, and we're going to use passion, which I think general terms of what people know what it means, but you want to have that verb that you're describing, that passion. And I can use in the word, I have passion for Toastmasters and learning anything and everything I can to be better leader and a better speech person. Back to you.
Love it.
Thank you so much for that, Joy, and for stepping in and taking on the role of the grammarian. So we will have our 5 to 7 minute prepared speeches, and our timer is Denise for tonight. And for the 5 to 7 minute speeches, at 5 minutes, she will show a green card. At 6 minutes, she will show a yellow card. And at 7 minutes, she will show a red card. And at that point, you will have 30 seconds in which to finish your speech. Those cards will remain up until she gets ready to put up the next card. So you'll know that it's still green or it's still yellow, and then it has turned red. And her hand is raised, so she will be in that upper top corner position as she is conducting her timing responsibilities. Our first speaker is Rosalind Kahn. And I would like for her evaluator, who is Atifa, to give us her speech, where her speech is coming from and the particulars about the speech. Do you have that information, Atifa?
Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Today I'm going to evaluate Rosalind Khan's speech. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So she is going to give a 5 to 7 minute speech on preparing a speech with writing a speech with a purpose. So I'm going to look out for the high points in her speech, and all the best, Rosalind.
Thank you, Atifa. Rosalind's speech is coming from strategic relationships. In Pathways, it's a level 1 speech, and it's writing a speech with purpose. The title of her speech is launching a book, 25 Tips for Public Speaking. But before I do that, let me tell you a little bit about Rosalind. Rosalind Kahn is a distinguished Toastmaster. She is the executive producer of Living Your Best Life at KGNT Las Vegas, Chow Entertainment. She is a 3 times TEDx speaker, a 4-time author with her latest book, captivating speakers with 25 tips on public speaking. She has also been in 10 anthology books, taking her to the bestseller list, having done so. Rosalind Kahn, launching a book, 25 tips for public speaking. Launching a book, 25 tips for public speaking. Rosalind Kahn, you have the floor.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. If there's one thing I'm passionate about, it is public speaking. Yes. And so I'd like to tell you a story. I have a life coach who's forever told me, Rosalind, you have 3 books, but why do you not have one on public speaking? Why don't you have one? So here we are. It is The Captivating Speaker, 25 Tips on Public Speaking. For your viewing pleasure, in the chat notes, you will all see the cover of that book. And today I'm going to tell you 3 things about that. I'm going to tell you what happened in the past, what I have to look forward to, and what is in the future. So as I mentioned, I've got 3 books in my past, and the first one was Random Acts of Kindness Are Changing the World, really about going out and helping other people. The second book was called Dogs and Roses. If you go on my Facebook, there's a picture of a dog, and I say, I still love those dogs. The next one was called A Message for Tomorrow's Leaders, about the pandemic, the protests, and the riots. But this one is about public speaking. Now, it's not just a book, it's a handbook. And so many people might wonder, how is it that you take that message and you get it out to the world? So number one, you got to write the book. And to me, I thought the best way to do it was to put together a book of tips, everything I've learned. And you might ask, where did this knowledge come from? Well, let's see. I teach public speaking 20 years. Maybe I know something. I've been given 1, 2, maybe 3 TED Talks and working on a 4th. And I belong to 3 Toastmasters groups. So you think I might have some information? Certainly. And so I put that information together, and then I looked at other people and what they did and said, don't just give people information, give them room for thought. So in that book, after each and every tip, there is a page or 2 that you can add your own commentary. So if we have the word silence, I would ask you, with that silence, where could you add silence into your speech? How could that make you a more impactful and powerful speaker? Now, there's 25 tips, and I don't want to give them all away, but I can tell you this. One of the ways that you market a book is you get involved in social media. Now, there's this thing that's called shorts. And shorts, I just learned on YouTube. You can go to your YouTube channel, and it has this thing called shorts. You hit the word shorts, and in 60 seconds, you got to be precise, just like these meetings here, talking about the present things or looking at the forward, is you got to be specific about what you're going to go ahead and say. And so each day I go and I give another tip, and then you give it on to the YouTube shorts, but then I go to TikTok and I upload a message up to TikTok and I tell them what's happening. I try and get one up on Instagram, and then I try and put something on Facebook and LinkedIn and so on and so forth, because you got to let people know. But you all know that the world doesn't live just on social media. Just because 150,000 people as of yesterday follow me doesn't mean they're all looking at the same time. So you've got to come out about it a different way. And so here tonight, I'm giving a speech telling you about this book, Captivating a Speaker, 25 Tips on Public Speaking. But I also have upcoming other speeches, and I've got a book event. The book event is going to be The Captivating Speaking by Rosalind Kahn. It is Sunday, September 12th from 4 to 6 p.m. And it's at Tito's Restaurant for the mere cost of $30. You get a signed book, you get food and entertainment. Who can find a better opportunity than that? Now, you might not live in Southern California, but I bet everybody on this call knows someone that lives here in Southern California they can send that way. Now, if El Monte isn't your thing, I've got another event coming up in a movie studio. Yes, Rosalind pulls in all the weights to go ahead and get that movie out. It's going to be here in the city of Burbank. There's talks of one in West LA, and there's other up and coming speeches that are going. So you want to remember that when you're getting a book out, it's not only one thing you do. You don't only come to Toastmasters, you get involved in social media, you contact all your friends and your families, you put together venues and places that you can go ahead and get this word out so the people know. And then you get your friends to come on and join calls for you when you have a launch party, inviting them. And I'm sure all of you will want to be on my launch party. We're just waiting right now. Waiting, what are we waiting for? Yesterday was a really exciting, dynamic day. I uploaded my book to Amazon. Yes! And we're waiting for the Amazon blessing that they fortify and they confirm that you do have a book and it is out there. And as soon as it's available, I will let you all know so that you can see what this book about captivating speakers about. But there's something else. You know who wrote some of the forewords in this? I am so proud and passionate about the people who are in my book who've written the foreword. I have just as many people who've written forewords, not forwards, testimonials, as the 25 tips. First and top off the list is the leader, the National Speakers Association, went ahead and wrote a foreword in my book, said that he's done a lot of speaking, but there is wonderful wisdom in that. There's another message from the Toastmasters International, Alfred Herzing, who I participated in a Toastmaster group when I just began. There's leaders like Cynthia Stott in here, who's written about her words of wisdom. I'm so happy and proud to have Cynthia's words of wisdom. I'm a winner of the Woman of Heart, and the person of the Women of Heart has her own testimonial. And I'll tell you a little secret I'm not supposed to let you know, but guess what? When I go to England, Rosalind Kahn, I'm going to get an award for speaking. Oh my God, there's a trend here. A public speaking book on a captivating speaker, awards on speaking, and there's still more. But today I've given you a talk. I have no idea where the timer is, so I can't tell you where we're at. But I do know that in the past, I told you how the book began. In the foreword, I told you about our speech that we have today. And in the future, I've given you different opportunities where you can see and hear and share with your friends where this book is really all about. From the bottom of my heart, gratitude beyond words. And I hope you've learned something. And as this closes, I will put in the chat notes the launch activity so that you can see where it's going to be. Madam Toastmaster, fellow timer, gratitude beyond words.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Rosalind. Madam Timer, can we have 1 minute on the clock, please? Thank you for that. Our minute is up, and our second speaker is our own president, Rosemary Sweeney. And Rosemary's speech comes from Presentation Mastery for some. Level 1, Writing a Speech with Purpose. It's a 5 to 7 minute presentation. And the title of her speech is Retirement Planning. But let me tell you a little bit about Rosemary. She is a distinguished Toastmaster and a charter member of 6 Toastmaster clubs. Rosemary serves as president of one club and VPPR of 2 of the other clubs. President Sweeney stepped into her first Toastmasters meeting in 2013 and was captivated by the idea of Toastmasters, more so when she listened to the in-depth speech evaluation that was given for the speakers. Her volunteering nature moved her to serve in various capacities at club level. She then moved to serve District 81 as area director and later on as division director. Her motto is always strive to help others. Rosemary Sweeney, retirement planning, Rosemary Sweeney. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the meeting. Greetings again, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and friends. Have you ever heard the phrase, "This is not my lucky day"? That was a phrase Jamison used. Jamison was asked to retire, and it immediately dawned on him that he was not financially prepared for retirement. Unfortunately, he is not alone. According to Credit Karma, NBC News on the 18th of April, 2023, about 27% of people aged 59 and above do not have a retirement savings account. To be financially secure during retirement, there are 3 basic financial strategies you could use while working: maintaining a retirement account, investing in certain options, or voluntarily contributing to your workplace pension are some measures you could take to enjoy a copacetic retirement. To begin with, maintaining a retirement savings account is extremely important, and this should be done when you begin your first job. The earlier you begin to save for retirement, the better and more comfortable you will be during retirement. On moneyusnews.com, Emily Brandon said, "The financial decisions you take when you begin your first job will set you up for a lifetime of financial success and a comfortable retirement." However, things do not always work out as they should. And so when we begin our first job, we think that retirement is very far away. And one lady says it is because we prefer instant gratification to setting aside money for some decades in the future, which we do not even know we will see. And so we go ahead and we have a good time. And procrastination also plays a part because we never get, some of us, to start preparing financially for that day. Now, in addition to the retirement savings account, there is also the investment option. We could invest in mutual funds, exchange traded funds, or index funds. We could choose any one of those to make an investment so that at the time when we retire, we will be comfortable. And these funds has a speciality to them in that they pool the investors' money together and allow them to diversify without having to manage or purchase individual securities. So whoever you put your funds with, they will do that for you. Not only that, but there's another speciality in that when you invest in those funds, it is not affected by your job status. So whether you are working or not working, your investment is not affected. Unlike the retirement savings account, which requires you to always be depositing money into that account so that at the end of your exercise, when you retire, you are well funded for retirement. Now, finally, voluntary contribution. Voluntary contribution means that you go to your employer and you ask your employer to remove a certain amount of money to put to the staff pension fund. This means you first have to get permission from your employer. But apparently the 401k allows that, because in the US Labor Department publication of September 21, it urged workers that if your employer has a 401k, you should put as much money as you can into that 401k. This is all in an effort so that when you retire, you can live a copacetic life. You do not have to struggle, or at least you know you tried. Now on uspension.com says there's an additional benefit to having voluntary contribution. Guess what? Your tax will be lowered. When you voluntarily contribute an amount, this will be deducted from your salary or your paycheck before your tax is calculated. And this is an additional benefit. All in all, I want employees to remember that there comes a time when you must retire. And so during your working life, be cognizant of that and set aside monies to ensure that your life during retirement, your quality of your life is not diminished. As I said earlier, this could be done through 3 financial strategies: having a retirement savings account, investing in certain options, or voluntarily contributing to your work pension plan. All these acts will ensure that during retirement, you are comfortable, you are cozy, you have a copacetic lifestyle, and your lifestyle is not diminished because of the fact that you're no longer employed. Madam Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you so much for that, Rosemary. Madam Timer, can we have 1 minute on the clock, please? Thank you so much, Madam Timer. As I started out earlier to tell you that pathways can become your labor of love, let me say that once you understand how significant pathways can be as it impacts your life, it can become your passion. And once you develop the passion, therein lies your labor of love. So we're going to work to make that happen here at Leaders Worldwide. But I need to speak to everyone in attendance, our president, other officials and officers. We've had a request for 2 to 3 minute speech to be given. And this person is our grammarian. Joy needs to give a speech, and she would like to know if she could take time to do that. And I want to know, can we rearrange our table topics or our chocolate giveaway at the end and allow her opportunity to give her speech or not?
Yes. Well, we do. Do we have time to shortcut our table topics?
If we change something around with either table topics or the chocolates at the end, she can give her 2 to 3 minute speech.
She can give it in our after party. How's that?
I will give up the table topics so that Joy.
No. We want table topics for sure. Let's just do it at the after party because we're short time. Is that okay? Because we want table topics, Cassandra. You're really good.
Is that okay, Joy?
I think that's a better idea. And plus, I will need 3 members to give me input on my project after I give the 2-3 minutes. So it's perfect.
Okay.
That's what I was going to ask, whether you would need evaluation, because then it would not only be the
Yes.
The presentation, but also the evaluation.
I had the form
Does need an
ready.
evaluation, and she said she has her form with her, but she would just need to have someone fill the form out.
So let us do it after Joy.
So we're going to go
Could you
ahead and do
put
this.
the evaluation form in the chat, so I will evaluate you when you give it after. So let's go ahead, Demery.
Thank you. So now we will have an explanation of our timing for the table topics by our timer, Denise. Would you explain the timing for table topics, please?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The table topics are 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'm going to put up the green. At 1.5 minutes, I'm going to put up the yellow. And at 2 minutes, I'm going to put up the red. You'll have 30 seconds to wrap up. Back to you.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And our table topics master is Cassandra Garabedian. Cassandra, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, thank you. We've been given a great explanation of what labor of love is all about. We had some great speeches that were given for great examples of labor of love. And now I'd like to give some questions about labor of love, your labor of love in your life, in your experiences. So I'd like to first call upon our members, one of our members, and then go to one of our guests, if I may. So probably if volunteers first, and if not, I'd like to call upon someone. So can I get volunteers, please? Any volunteers?
I'll volunteer if you.
Who's that?
Oh, did Joy raise her hand? This was Cynthia, but Joy raised her hand too.
Okay, Joy. Thank you,
Yeah.
Joy. Okay, the first question. We talked about passion, labor of love, but with passion comes commitment to a cause, to your subject matter, to what you love. Can you give me an example of when something that you worked upon transitioned to that labor of love?
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Toastmasters and guest, one of the projects that I have developed this passion for was understanding and exposing and stopping human trafficking. It started back in 2005 when my sociology professor was helping me get a research topic when I was on my first internship in Washington, D.C. And he suggested a book called Disposable People. It was to my absolute shock, because being sheltered most of my life, I didn't know that slavery was a problem around the world or even in the United States. And it was an eye-opener the more I dig into the subject matter. As years progressed, I kept in touch with some of the interest of human rights groups that would touch on human trafficking, and it kept bubbling up every so often. And now I have garnered a further interest in helping with developing the new specialized operations of human trafficking that I created a master thesis on, and also built contacts and networks helping with lawsuits and trying to expose these operations. So that is the key feature of my passion and labor of love ever since I started in 2005. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you for that wonderful answer, Joe. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Next question. I'd like for someone to finish this phrase. I will. With passion and commitment, I will. Can I get someone to finish that phrase?
Alex, do you want to volunteer, or Ronald, our guest?
Ronald, why don't you step up, because I'm doing a roll, so
Okay.
somebody else new.
Nothing comes to my mind right now. With passion and commitment, I will. So sorry.
I'll get it.
I could take it, I believe.
Here's Rhonda.
Oh, Rhonda wants to.
Aye. With passion and commitment, I will strategically think of the projects I have, the plans I have that would influence my success and influence the success of my children. And to do so, I think it is most important, one, to give considerable thought to what I need to do with regard to my own personal short-term, middle-term, and long-term goals, and to put the plans in place. Not just putting plans in place to write them out, to make them very visible, and to not just look at the big goals, but what steps I need to take to reach from here to there in terms of my goals and my objectives. Passion is great and brings some energy, but at the times when it becomes difficult and as you're going through, it's often that you can lose sight of where you want to go, and sometimes that passion can fizzle out if you don't feed it well. Feeding it well requires you to put those plans in place, to put some structure in place, and to be committed to yourself and to your success and your future. Passion is great, but it requires a labor of love. And while love is great, the labor is required to put the work into it. So that is most important, that you feed your passion with the structure and plans to be able to put your success. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, no matter how much passion there is. Thank you, Madam Topics Master.
Very nice, Rhonda. Very nice. Love your answer. And with that brings me to the next question. I want to take a spin for what Rhonda said. And that leads me to the question about a mentor. Having a mentor, would that suit the next person that takes this question? Having a mentor, would that suit your learning style? Would that type of support help you through your pathway, through your journey to get you from point A to point Z, where you want to be in life for path as far as with Toastmasters? And let's get a volunteer for that one.
I can do that one. Hold on 1 second.
I can do, oh, okay, all right, fine.
That's fine. So having a mentor, I think, in most things is important, especially when it comes to Toastmasters. I really believe that, like all volunteer organizations, there's a lot of ways to navigate it. And when it comes to the pathway system, if you're not really familiar with it or the way it's worded, you can run into a lot of different difficulties. We're very lucky here that we've got a lot of people that are passionate about pathways, and that not only that they're passionate about it, that they're willing to express how to get to the goals that we want to be. There's never a time where there's not tools, i.e. people to ask. And I think that's something that makes it encouraging to want to speak versus not wanting to speak. And I believe that that could be a key to not only becoming a better speaker, but to get to the goal, if that's your goal, distinguished Toastmaster, or whatever your eventual goal is. Because at the end of the day, we're all here for different reasons, whether it's business, pleasure, or just to become a person that can speak well in conversational English. So I really do believe mentorship is important in all aspects of life, just so that you can bounce ideas off of and experiment. So that's where I'm at. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Alex, because just a little bit feedback from that. We're going to be in the next week contacting you to get information where I'm letting you know where you are. We're going to be talking about pathways. We're going to be talking about giving speeches to let you know where we can go, the club's goals, your goals, all the different awards that can be achieved, because I want people to know what's available. We want to support you in many ways, all the ways that we can. It's out there, so why not take it? Okay, so thank you for your answer. Okay, back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Madam Table Topic Smasher. That was a wonderful session and a wonderful round. And I hope that you've been looking in the chat. I put a message in at the beginning of our meeting that tells all the Leaders Worldwide members that we're going to have a kickoff Zoom that will be done sometime outside of our regular meeting. It will only last for 30 minutes, and we'll be getting everybody's path where they are, where they plan to go. We're going to map that out, and that is in the chat. My email is there if you need to ask a question. I have the information on all of the Leaders Worldwide members, and we will be reaching out to you later this week or the very first part of next week. So thank you so much for that. And Alex, you touched on exactly what we're going to do, because it's our intent and my intent in particular to let you understand that pathways can literally change your life. It doesn't matter what you came into Toastmasters wanting to do. Pathways can be adapted. You can use that as a tool to change the trajectory of the future that you have in front of you. And having said all that, I'd like to turn the meeting now over to our general evaluator. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. It's Carrie Kelly, and my camera is out of order, so I hope you can hear me pretty well.
Yes.
Can you? Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So, I am here to get us started with our report. I think the first thing that has to happen is our two prepared speeches get their evaluations. And to evaluate our first speaker is Atifa, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, what should I evaluate and how should I evaluate somebody who is a pro in public speaking and who has come up with her own book on tips to public speaking? It was an utter pleasure and sheer pleasure to hear Rosalind Khan speak, and she actually embodied that excitement that is so much part of not only an achievement like a book launch, but also the whole core and soul of public speaking. Because if we do not have that enthusiasm and that excitement, there's no way in which we can influence, persuade, or even inform others. So I utterly loved her presentation. There was the rhetorical question. There was the surprise element in the part where she talked about silence, and we were left guessing what she would say next. There were so many things, like it was also loaded with information about the right way to do a book launch, where no one particular way is enough, she told us. And we have to go all out to get the word out. And she also incidentally gave us a lot of idea about how this whole system works of a book launch and what she is doing to get the word out about her own book. I personally loved her book, and the mention of Cynthia and other people we know also makes it more interesting, apart from Rosalind Khan herself. If I were to suggest something from my side, I'd say the pace, the rate of speech in which Rosalind speaks, that can be slowed down a bit for the comfort of an international audience. Because I find myself sometimes second guessing myself what is meant when she is speaking at her full pace. And I guess there can be a little bit of slowing down. About the timer, she mentioned that she was clueless whether the timing is right. And for that, I have a suggestion. I personally always use a stopwatch by my side. If for any exigency, the timer is not visible, or anything any other eventuality takes place, I am not lost. So I keep a stopwatch. I'd suggest her to do the same. Overall, I loved her speech, and especially her way of saying gratitude beyond words. I also express such deep gratitude to be her evaluator today. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Very nice evaluation. I believe our second evaluator is Dee Marie. Am I right about that?
No, on my,
Oh,
It's Rosalind.
yes, it's Rosalind.
I'm sorry, Rosalind.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Okay, Rosalind, you have the floor.
All righty. Well, Rosemary, oh my gosh, I guess I'm a little short. Maybe I just need to join 6 more clubs so I can speak just like you. You are, if you're in my class, you get an ace of spades, baby. Let me tell you what it is. I'm very big on structure, organization. One thing we learn in public speaking is preview, view, and review. You told us there were 3 strategies. You explained those 3 strategies. You went back and you reviewed them. The second thing that I loved was the integration of sources. You had the speech down wired to a letter that if anybody wanted to go and look up any of these sources, you gave us the information, the date, where they came from, and how we could get a hold of that information. It made you a credible speaker. I know you must be a financial planner because you wouldn't have had them at the top of your fingertips if that wasn't your job and your occupation. So that made me want to believe you even more. But what really put the icing on the cake was the way you used your voice. You would stay with a strong, confident, you got to know this. And oh, by the way, there's something else. You brought it up. You dropped it down. You punctuated that meeting. You made us really, truly want to listen. I scratched my head. I pulled it out of the skull and I said, what could I say to guide you to the future? One of the things, a picture paints 1,000 words. If you had a picture that said, this is the one that you don't have to worry about, they manage your money, you go this option and a little automation thing would come out, but this is the one that you need to work and you need to stay in working. And when you're working at this time, this is the one that goes there. And the last one is this, because people only hear with a certain percentage, but when you hear it and you see it, then you believe it, you can bring it all together. So Rosemary, in my evaluation today, we talked about the preview, the view, and the review. Secondly, we went ahead and covered your vocal variety. And thirdly, we talked about the areas of the sources and the citation, you would get an A+ in my book, and I can hardly wait to hear from you on your next speech that you're giving to our Toastmasters group. Rosemary.
Thank you so much, Rosalind. So how about we get the grammarian report? We have a stand-in grammarian who volunteered to take over for our meeting today. Are you ready with your report?
Most certainly. Thank you, General Evaluator. For Rosalind Kahn, I heard a couple of ums and so's and about 5 so's, but she used passion twice. For Rosemary, I didn't hear anything. Demarie, I heard 1 passion. Cassandra, I heard 4 passion words. And for myself, I used passion twice, and I hesitated in my speech a couple of times. Rhonda, I heard passion 5 times. Alex, I heard 1 so and 2 passions. Atifa is 1 and 1 And that's all I have for you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that report. I think it's time for our timers report.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator. The first speech came in at 7 minutes and 5 seconds. Speaker number 2 came in at 6 minutes and 17 seconds. Table topic 1 speaker was 1 minute and 32 seconds. Table topic 2 speaker was 1 minute and came in under at 1:55. 1 minute and 55 seconds. Table topic speaker 3 went over but at 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Table topic 1 speaker was within range. Evaluator 1 speaker and evaluator 2 were both in range. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Okay, I believe that is all of the reports that I have for the time at this time. So I will turn it back over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
And the Toastmaster of the day will turn the meeting now over to our General Evaluator, who is Carrie Kelly, so that she can give her assessment of the entire meeting. Back to you, Carrie.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So my overall evaluation of this meeting was very good. It was very productive. It started on time. I loved that video in the beginning. And then you know, with everything that we do and my technical challenges, it's always what's the word I'm looking for? It's just always a labor of love to manage my technology over here. Okay. And so I really thank everyone for giving us a wonderful meeting today. I think the only one little thing that I would say is that if we need to make adjustments, maybe the time to do that would be closer to the end of the meeting or at the very beginning before the actual meeting starts, when we're having the meet and greet, so that we're not trying to figure out things on the fly during the meeting. And I think that will do it for my general evaluation of this meeting. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much for that evaluation, Madam General Evaluator. And now I will turn the meeting over to our illustrious president, Rosemary Sweeney, for remarks.
Thank you so much, everyone, our Toastmaster, our General Evaluator and her team, our speakers. I thank you for us having such a wonderful meeting. 1 minute. And at this time, I will call on our guests to tell us what they thought of our meeting or what they think of our meeting. Madam Timer, let me know when we are at the end of our time, please. So let us call on our first guest. We had Judith.
Thank you. It was great. I loved your speech, and I always do, actually. And it was really great. Thank you, Roslyn, about your book. Congratulations. And thank you for having me as a guest. It was really nice being here.
And we love having you as our guest, so do come again. And Rhonda is our sister. You're muted still.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi. So thank you again. I'm glad that I was able to come into the meeting. I found particularly the prepared speeches were very educational for me. I enjoyed hearing about the process that Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Rosling has gone through to launch this book. And I pay attention to some of the steps that she talks about. It's not an area I'm familiar with, so I was grateful for the information. I was grateful for the information that President Rosemary, you gave on your retirement planning. I know a fair amount of it, so I was really just kind of gauging where I was at based on what you were talking about. So I'm thankful for that as well. Toastmaster Cassandra always does a good job with table topics. I like how she brings it out and how persons respond. I'm having a very good time in this meeting tonight. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you, Bonta.
Thank you so much for giving us that feedback. And at this time, we normally have we want everybody to go home happy. So we are just going to send out goodies to everyone and sundry. So just whoosh, catch that goodies and make use of it. For our meeting, I just want to tell our members that I will be sending out some questionnaires as to who would like to be mentors. It so happened our final question for our table topic is exactly what we're going to be doing. And the VP Education and our VP Pathways will be working with me on that, so that we have everybody up to speed in everything about pathways, because some of us have not realized that all the roles we played should be recorded in pathways. Some of us have not realized certain things about pathways, and we want everybody to be up to speed in pathways. Recently, I noticed the district public relation committee has been asking us for articles to put in the newspaper. So I'm encouraging everyone who has a passion, or word of today, passion in something and has written something which to them it is important and has probably got an evaluation on it. You could expand on it. It must not be more than 100 words. So you would send that to the PR team. I think he sent it out this week, and today, the 2nd was the deadline. So probably he'll be sending out another one, asking again and giving a deadline. So do not wait when the request is made, but start working on your article so that when the request is made, it can be sent out, because I guess they have to edit and do a number of things. That's why they would like it early enough.
So, Madam President, can I speak?
Excuse me?
I speak. This
May
is
you, yes.
So
yes.
I sent an article to the district newspaper and they accepted it. It will be published.
Okay, thank you so much for for that. So that's why I'm asking others to start working on your articles, and you could put that in your resume. You have a published article, and maybe that might just be the first step for us to have distinguished Toastmaster Roslyn as our mentor into writing that book. Yes, Toastmaster Atifa?
You're on
Yes,
mute.
you are muted. You're still muted. We cannot hear you.
Sorry, were you talking to me?
I
No.
saw Atifa with her hand, she has a raised hand.
Yeah, can you hear me now? I'm sorry, there was a
Yes.
tech error. Yeah, so I also sent over an article which was accepted in the form I got a reply. It was your article has been accepted, but I do not know where to look for it or when where it would be available. So could you please tell something about that? Whether it is published or not?
Well, I guess it was just on the 2nd that they did it. I guess it would have to be edited and then they would publish it in the newspaper, because the district has a newspaper. So I would
Right.
have to
Where
find
is
out
it
where
to be
can you.
found?
Right, that's what I would have to find out from you, but I doubt between the 2nd and the 4th, the article, the newspaper is ready. Because the deadline was the 2nd. Okay, so I can
Yeah,
find
thank
that out.
you.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if distinguished Toastmaster Cynthia knows about the newspaper, the whereabouts.
Well, it's the newsletter, and there will be an email going out to everybody when it's published. But you
Okay.
should probably hear something. And if you don't, I can connect you with the Elliot Rogers, who is our district newsletter person. But
Okay.
that
please
would be really
Please
great.
do that.
He's
Yes,
going
but
to get back with, he's going
But
to
I
get,
guess he would not have time between Saturday and Sunday to prepare that newsletter.
no, but he said he would get back with me about the article.
Okay, then.
Great. So he'll probably get back with you too, Atifa. And make sure to polish that up and send it to Toastmasters International Magazine. I'd love for us to be published there. Woohoo! Very exciting.
Thank you.
Okay. So I now call our meeting to a close, but I would like all of us to hang on because we are going to have a impromptu speech from our grammarian. Can you give the Toastmaster the title of your speech?
Planning an escape room.
Escape room.
I just have one question. Are we recording?
Yes.
Is this part of our meeting? Are we recording it?
No, our meeting is called to a close.